There's over 200 different steps. Each and every boot at Lucchese is made by hand. And every single step, every single station has that artisan that only does that one thing and does it better than anyone else. Bow, bow, bow.
We should probably have some whiskey.
I know, we should get some whiskey. So that song was for my cousin out of Houston, Lance Hartman. Never heard of Zach Top, but now I know. So there you go, Lance. Anyways, today we are coming live from the home office. Super special video. I've got my director of sales, my top guy. This guy is a killer, a stud, a gentleman, and a friend near and dear to my heart. Y'all give it up, big golf clap in the background. Renmark for Mr. JP Juarez.
How's it going, guys?
There you go.
Glad to be here, Dallas.
Yeah, man. So let's start from the top. How long have you known me?
Man, we've been clashing since 2014, man.
2014.
10 years.
10 years. We were in the fitness industry together, and I departed before you, retired, and got into real estate in 2017. And then what was it, around 2019, 2020, we started having some big boy conversations about you making a transition?
Yeah. As a former male dancer, I realized that dancing wasn't, something I wanted to continue with. So yeah, we had that conversation.
So it was, if I remember correctly, I think it was the fall right before COVID hit. So fall of 2019, you retired from fitness and you went full-time Sealy Group. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So you join and boom, COVID hits.
Yes.
And it's like that video we should put up right here that you love with the kids swinging in the background as the dumpster's on fire.
Yes. COVID hit, and I still actually have a garage full of toilet paper since then. Yeah.
We just went and got Toto bidets throughout the house, so we're good. All right, so COVID hits. We're building the team. Things are taking off. You join us, I think, when we were at 4 team members. We were from 4 to 6 to 8 to a dozen to 20, 30, 40 plus. And, from 2020 through really the beginning of this year, we were showing up every single day into our formal office, right?
Yeah, we were shaking and baking for a couple years, and then, things were great.
And if I recall, because this is a boot video, I was going in every day with the suit of armor on, ready to slay dragons. And as, you tell me, as you saw the collection and sort of the daily wear sort of evolving, what gave you the itch, or how did you really kind of get into the boot game and the boot collection?
Well, on top of fitness, I was in the military for 20 years, and from wearing a uniform for every day of my life to fitness clothes, I really didn't have clothes for the real estate industry. So I remember getting my license and me being excited to actually go shoe shopping, pant shopping, dress shirt shopping, and I took into consideration of how well and nice your boot collection was, and I was like, hey, I want to go check those out, man.
Okay. So we started talking boots. We started getting nerdy in the office and talking about all the things. And if I recall, I got an invitation to go down to El Paso for the Lucchese VIP tour experience. I think that was 2022?
2022.
Or 2023?
January 2023. Last
Okay.
year, yeah.
Okay, so January 2023. and I said, "Hey, you want to knock out two birds, one stone? A little boys trip to El Paso and back, little turn and burn weekend getaway."
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So we go down to El Paso and kind of share from your vantage point to the viewers at home, not only your experience of El Paso as a whole, because that was both of our first time to really see the city from that vantage point, but talk us through sort of the experience that uh, Juan Hernandez and all the big dogs at the Lucchese factory gave us.
Yeah, so basically, Juan Hernandez basically pulled the curtain, opened up the curtain for us, and we got to see everything from the process of making the boot from start to finish, and meeting some of the artisans that have been there for 20 plus years, um, hand make these boots and really kind of show us the passion and the detail that they put into these boots, and immediately fell in love with the process, and knowing what type of sweat equity goes into those boots. It's something to be be proud of an organization that puts that much work into it.
Yeah, I remember getting there and Juan brings us into the first room up front. You walk in and there's this kind of initial wow showroom of all the different state boots and all the different things that the Masters and Fidel does. And then he starts us on the factory tour and there's this is all education for us, right? Learning more and more about the heart and soul of the product. But there's over 200 different steps. Each and every boot at Lucchese's made by hand, and every single step, every single station has that artisan that only does that one thing and does it better than anyone else. And I remember going through the factory tour with you and Juan, and I don't know if you remember this, both of us looking down our arms and multiple times both of us having goosebumps because of just the incredible uh, just passion that all these people put into every single step. And do you remember us more than once looking at each other and like off the side being like, "Hey, don't tell Juan, but these boots are underpriced now that we know what goes into it. We'd pay a lot more for these things."
Yeah, absolutely. When I first started, shopping around for boots, Lucchese's is the cream of the crop. And for those people that collect shoes, you might think like the Jordan 1s. Those are the highest type of, shoe you can get. Put that away and know that the Lucchese factory is where the real magic happens, and actually seeing the person make that boot kinda lets me know, like, wow, I know what I'm paying for. I'm paying for what I get in the quality of a handmade boot to, uh especially us getting the custom fitted. That was, knowing that my boot will always be forever saved in that factory, and I just gotta make a call and they'll make a boot.
Yes, the beginning of our experience, Ricardo, I think who's over the entire factory now, big dog. He does our custom measurements, both of us, calves, ankles, feet, all these different measurements, and they save them in these record books at Lucchese, right? So if anything ever happens to your last, they can always go back and rebuild it based off these saved measurements. And so they showed us the last, right? And those lasts will always be in the factory, and whether it was a boot that we were ordering last year or this year or a boot that we order for ourselves 20, 30 years down the road, they're going to go pull our custom last and they're going to build a boot that is custom fit to our feet, which was just super cool.
What's really cool is the measurement book. It's part of history. I mean, our names are now stacked and sitting with celebrities, former president, dictators, VIPs around the world. And, it was really cool to see our names and know that our names are next to those people as well too.
So talk to us about not only during the experience of the factory tour, but at the end when we got to see the factory showroom on that second level. Talk to us about sort of all the different custom ahas that we got to see and all the different custom possibilities that you can do with Lucchese, and sort of what light bulbs were going off in your head.
Yeah, so Juan Hernandez is a good friend of ours, and he's the guy that gave us our VIP tour. So he's the kind of the one that um, kind of explains how the custom boot process is, and it's literally from start to finish on what is the concept of the boots, what is the theme behind it, and what is the meaningful meaning that is gonna be towards the boot. And from there, that's where the skin is selected, that's where the snippet of the boot is selected, that's where the custom quote is selected, and you put all those pieces together, and then you wonder why these custom boots take 9 months up to 2 years to make,
Yeah.
because there's just a long list of things that they have to do. And perfection is the name of their game, and they don't rush things there.
Yep. So we do the tour in January of 2023. You're getting married just over a year later, and you know, JP and his lovely wife. By the way, nice job, man. Married up, great sales job right there.
Yeah.
Uh, they got married destination wedding in Mexico, and it was mostly friends and family that got invited. And Amy and I were honored to be on the guest list. And so we took a step back and we really, we could have got you a spatula or skillet or, a toaster oven. Well, I'm sure the stuff you need that you put on your registry, but I wanted to be thoughtful and purposeful and uh, basically get a wedding gift that would have extreme meaning behind it. And so I think after that experience, it was only fitting. I called up Juan and said, "Hey, you got a second?" And we had a great conversation. And, long story short, I had some custom wedding boots made for you. Is that right?
Yeah. He has some custom wedding boots that were made behind the scenes without me knowing. Shout out to Cheyenne and Dallas kind of collabing and getting the information that they need, but had no clue that on the day of the wedding, you were going to surprise me in Mexico, the boots. And, you know, there's something to admire and cherish for the rest of my life. Yeah.
And what was really cool is because it was kind of a rush order, and I literally got them in my hands a few days before the wedding. There's 3 master bootmakers at the Lucchese factory currently, and, in fact, Juan's father, Fernie, is one of them, and so he was charged with the task. He basically built the majority of your boot by hand to ensure that they were not only perfect, but that they were done in time.
Yeah.
So, you ready to take a look?
Yeah. Let's check them out.
Let's do it. I'll grab one if you'll grab one. So these bad boys came in, and one of the first things I had to get from Cheyenne was, "Hey, what color suit are you wearing?" Right?
Yeah.
Because we need to make sure that the custom boot and the custom matching belt also matched with the suit. So luckily, we were real lucky. You chose kind of a light tan, a light sand color suit. So
Mhm.
any color boot is going to go great with that. And you know, I had known what your current boot collection where it was at. I had known that you sort of had a hole for a super high end gator dress boot. And so, I spoke with Ricardo, spoke with Juan, and we chose this Nile crocodile. As you can see, um, right off the bat, these tiles that were hand selected by Ricardo. I mean, they're almost so perfect that most would mistake them for American. There's not a single blemish. The skins are just absolutely off the chart. And I think and I want to ask you, was black cherry sort of the right color tone? Because we could have gone black, we could have gone, maybe a dark brown, but I thought black cherry would have really done nicely.
Yeah, this was by far the perfect color, especially with my suit, because I already had pre-selected boots. But knowing that this color was selected, I knew that I could immediately change into these, and it would definitely be awesome in the pictures. One thing I can tell you, especially when I wear these boots, and I've only worn them since my wedding day, probably only two or three times, and every time that I wear them, I always get pulled over by the game warden. 'Cause I mean, you don't see Nile crocodiles here in Texas like this, but, um, beautiful boots, and for them to, we're gonna explain everything what they did to the boot. Just having the Lucchese legacy, and fun fact, we talked about this, Dallas. Lucchese in 1883, they opened up shop in San Antonio, Texas, and their very first customer was the United States Army, where they made boots for the soldiers. And me being in the military for over 20 years, that's something that I'm proud to be part of, the Army organization, but also be affiliated with Lucchese, where they started off with the military as well.
Mm, love it. So going back to these boots, you can, this was forgive me, I forgot the exact name, but this was Juan's idea for this custom scalloping.
Yep.
This is sort of more of a classic Lucchese design. You don't see these on any of their current stock inventory that you'll find. And so Juan hand selected this inlay design. You see, you've got the Nile black cherry crocodile on the inside of this inlay. You've got the matching on the pull strap,
Hmm.
and then sort of modeling the fun custom that I did for my wedding. We did sort of that purple and matching yellow trim to not only signify the union, but also signify the day and time of the wedding ceremony there in Mexico.
Yeah, absolutely. These are definitely one of one, to where only I have this boot in the world. And speaking with one, this is the El Paso inlay with the buffalo kind of laying over the Nile, and with my last name and the date of the wedding. I mean, you can't get more custom than this, and actually, you can.
You can.
You can.
So before we talk about my favorite custom part of the boot, again, you know, uh, just in the nick of time, Juan overnights me these boots. I get them a couple days before we fly out. We fly out. Thank God I didn't get stopped by the war in Mexico. That wouldn't have gone well. And we get to the hotel. Obviously, I'm carrying these on the plane. Very, very precious cargo. And, you know, Cheyenne's in on this the entire time. So I'm like, hey, what's the schedule of the day of the wedding? Blah, blah, blah. I've got to meet with them. It's got to be a big surprise. So I think the ceremony that day was around 4:30 or 5.
Hmm.
You had an hour hole in your schedule as she was getting her facial or at the spa or whatever, getting ready. And so I said, hey, 11 a.m. I need to meet you up in your hotel room. So we go up to the hotel room. Uh, I'm filming the whole thing. I make you turn around, close your eyes, and we basically unveil the big the big reveal for the wedding gift. And what was the very first thought that popped in your head?
The very first thought was like, how did y'all guys pull this off without me even knowing? But also, what was really cool is you FaceTime Juan at the time.
Yeah, we did.
Juan was on the video,
We did.
and just hearing, I mean, just seeing the boot, like, wow, on my wedding day, I get to wear these, and it just hit me that these were one of one, that I can put these on immediately. But also, with Juan on the video and the pictures that you guys had, like, it was a full blown kind of special operations that you guys were doing behind the scenes, and you guys pulled it off, especially in the.
Yeah, the attention to detail, the customer service. With this package, he actually had taken pictures as they were being built throughout the process and basically put together kind of a custom build book for you. So you could, even though it was kept a secret in a way, so you could be a part of that process, which I thought was really cool. So we've got Juan FaceTimed in. It's a few hours before the wedding. We're here, and um, my favorite part of these custom boots, and when I told you that morning, which was the whole point of this gift, was the message or the messages that were inscribed on the inside,
Yeah.
right? So there's two different quotes. You wanna read the first one?
Yeah, the quotes right here is kind of facing me, as you can see, and love is not a feeling, it's a commitment. And that's something that's very special, in the quote, that, being married is, it's not a game, it's a real deal. And, my commitment to Cheyenne, and, kind of resonates with this boot, because, I mean, like I said, this is something that's very, I can cherish for the rest of my life. but also every time that I do put it on, it reminds me of, why I got married, the real reasons, and something to signify that as well.
So when we were there that morning, I remember saying, "Hey, JP, this was a piece of advice that our buddy that married Amy and myself gave us while we were on the altar. And I want to pass along that same piece of advice because, as someone who's been married since 2015, it's not always Care Bears and unicorns,
Yeah.
right? And you can't let the emotions of the season or whatever's going on impact your judgment. If you are truly all in on getting married with Cheyenne, you're all in on thick and thin.
Yeah.
It's not you're committing to this no matter what.
Oh yeah.
And so that was important. And there was a second thing that you and I talk about all the time, because especially in business, and really, it's wild in our industry how much this applies. But I think it also applies to marriages. What's the second quote say?
Yeah. Second quote is, just like everything else in life, the only way to fail is to quit. And, that definitely hits the nail on the head, because when I was giving my vows to Cheyenne, that's something that, I also wrote in the vows is, you know, this is it. You're going to deal with me. And when you put me 6 feet under, I better be wearing these boots, Cheyenne.
Yeah, you told me earlier that if money ever gets tight, you ain't gonna quit on her. You're just gonna start an Only Boots account, right?
Only boots account.
Only Boots
Yeah.
account. So, yeah, I mean, the wedding was incredible. There's pictures that won't go on the internet of you boot scooting, boogieing down in these and break them in, but really special memory for both of us. And I know that you're gonna cherish these for decades and decades to come. The team at Lucchese also did a matching Nile black cherry belt that came out incredible. And again, because we did that VIP experience, these boots and the belt are custom fit to JP. His waist measurements, his foot measurements, they're custom built. So if you're thinking about building a custom boot, whether it's for yourself or as a gift to someone special, right? My advice, and I'm sure JP's, would be to go all the way. Get your feet custom measurements, get the waist measurements. If it's going to be custom to you, let's make sure it's done right.
Yeah, absolutely. And big shout out to Juan and also Dallas and Amy for, for the boot and everything that came with it. And this is something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Again, guys, my name's Dallas Seeley. I'm the founder and owner of the Seeley Group.
And I'm JP Juarez, Director of Sales.
We had so much fun kind of sharing these beautiful custom Lucchese builds, talking about the story of going to El Paso for the VIP trip, and of course, deep diving into JP's wedding story. If you liked the video today, if you're wanting more epic content, whether it's about luxury boots or luxury real estate, click on the link and subscribe button below. And again, in all things in life, right? Couple more quotes for you to educate the viewers at home. You get what you pay for. So you've got different brands of boots out there, different brands of quality. And if you're looking for the best of the best when it comes to custom cowboy boots, Lucchese should be one of the first that come to mind.
Yeah, and if you're looking for the best of the best in all your real estate needs, think of the Seeley Group, because we are here to help you.
There you go, guys. Our mission statement here at the Seeley Group is to ensure you build your legacy. We're here to help. We hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and we'll be coming to you soon with more and more content. Thank you so much.